Hi everybody. I wanted to quickly come back because I've spent a bit of time inside this basement environment and there were a few things that I really wasn't happy with and I was going to just change them, but then I thought you guys won't be in the same position if you've been following along with the tutorial. So what I wanted to do is just quickly come in, mention what I've done and go through it for anybody who wants to follow along. It should only take us about 5 minutes, but this sort of stuff happens once you spend some time inside the room. I spent a bit of time inside VR looking around and the scale just seemed off to me and there were a few things that needed changing. So to start with, these brick walls where the bricks are way too big once you're in there, and because we know what size a brick is, when you view that brick inside VR it makes you feel like you're a bit smaller than you actually are, so we need to shrink that texture down. The other thing I didn't like is when we're sitting in the sort of drum position, this is really open, so we're just going to stick a wall up here. Also, I think this opening is a bit too big, so we're just going to shrink that down. And if I look up here inside this light, you can see we can see straight through it, and that is due to the normals being the wrong way around. So just a few things to correct. Everything else actually looks fine, so let's just jump back into Blender and make those changes. So we'll start with the roof over here. Let me just turn off back face culling, and I'm just going to move this back a bit. So into edit mode, select edge, select the edge we want to move, and let's just move that back. So I'm just going to move it back just past this joist here, which then means we just need to edit this joist as well. So just selecting that edge loop. Actually, let me just make sure my CAS keys are on so you can see what I'm pressing. So you can see down here now what I'm pressing, like before. I'm just going to move this out. Happy with that. Edit this room, and we've got this edge here, so we can just use this. So I'm just going to E to extrude on the Z, and we're just going to bring it up a little bit. That should be fine. And for this one, we could probably just leave that open. I think that'll be fine. We could put a wall on there, but I don't think we need to. The other thing that if I jump back into here was some of these bricks sort of look upside down and they don't meet very well in the corners, so we're just going to correct that by re-unwrapping this, but we'll unwrap it manually. So let's jump into UV editing mode, and very simply we're going to put a seam all the way around. So just holding shift, selecting all these edges, mark the seam. That will split this face off and the roof off, and then we can split the floor off as well. So just select all these edges on the floor, mark that as a seam, and then we need one, because this room's so long it's going to split up, so I'm just going to mark a seam here and mark a seam here, and then if we unwrap this we can see it's unwrapped a bit better on here. And let me just pack the islands, and I think these being this way around is going to mean the bricks are the wrong way around, so let's just press R to rotate and rotate those 90 degrees and move everything back so it's on the texture map. Got a little island in there, that's fine. Let's look at that texture now in rendered mode. You can see we're meeting a little bit better in these corners now. In the other corners it's not meeting precisely due to the fact that we've got a seam in this corner and a seam in the other corner. We might be able to move the UVs up a little bit, so let's select this, turn this in sync off. I just want to select this island here, and while we're moving this we should be able to see these bricks moving if my screen renders quick enough. That looks a bit better. It's not going to be perfect because these bricks aren't right, but that looks better. Do these look the right way around this time? Shadow on the bottom. Yep, they look the right way around, and they're just a bit big, so let's jump into shading. Select this room texture. I'm not sure if you can see this because I've zoomed in, and I'm just going to, we did this in the other video, we set the tiling, so I'm just going to increase this tiling to 6. and that's made these bricks a lot smaller. And the other thing was our light, so let's jump into modelling mode. Select our lights, and it was a bit difficult to see inside here before, but with backface culling on, you can't 100% see until you go into this sort of angle, and then you can see you're looking straight through. So I'm just going to flip the normals here, and that's made that much better. So let's just link all these. Just pressing L, which will select the linked object. Flip the normals. And that's it. All you need to do now is rebake those textures and re-export into Unity, and you'll be left with the same changes I've just done. So apologies for that. These things happen. You need to just quickly make these changes. That's all I wanted to say. Hope you can do those changes. Thank you very much, and I'll see you shortly.